I'm sure you've heard the phrase traveling is a luxury. What if I tell you that you've been interpreting that phrase wrongly all this while? Traveling can be a luxury, but mostly in terms of time, not money. If you're willing to compromise on creature comforts and if you have enough time, then traveling can definitely be done on a shoestring budget. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg like a lot of travel companies tell you or travel agencies tell you. And I'm going to show you that in this series of traveling around the world on a budget. Hi, I'm Raksha and today we are going to be talking about couchsurfing, where you can stay for free as part of a cultural exchange. While I'm doing this video mostly from a couchsurfing point of view, there are other closely knit communities like Trust Roots, Be Welcome, where these points will be applicable as well. So it's mostly a generalized topic that I'm talking about. Having couchsurfed in 5 different locations around Europe, I can say that I understand the dynamics of couchsurfing a lot better now. So I'm gonna be sharing safety tips from a female solo traveler perspective. So stay tuned.
Let's all fly together and I will show you a place you'll never been. I don't believe in never, 'cause suddenly somehow I came to be. Now it's time to gather all the praise. Let's all fly together and I will show you a place you'll never been.
Back in 2018, I tried volunteering with Workaway and there wasn't much room for doubt. The exchange was clearly defined there, work in exchange for food and accommodation. So I've talked about in detail in the Workaway video if you'd like to check it out. But couchsurfing on the other hand is kind of tricky because it's publicized as a free tour where you stay for free in exchange for in sort of a cultural exchange. It provides an immersive experience of staying at a local's home for sure, but as a female solo traveler, that itself is my biggest dilemma, staying at the mercy of strangers. And that's precisely what stopped me from using couchsurfing for a long time. But when I was traveling for 3 months in Europe, I had to cut down the cost, and this was one of the ways that I could do so for short-term travels. So that's when I decided to give it a shot, and I'm happy to report not only that I had zero safety issues, but also I met some of the warm and hospitable people while doing so. My host in Tallinn gifted me a wooden wallet. Let me show it to you. Gifted me a wooden wallet which is like handmade by him. It's like one of the precious treasures that I have from the trip. And my host in Frankfurt, he gifted me a postcard, and my host in Croatia, he made me a yummy shakshuka, Israeli shakshuka breakfast. Some of my hosts even picked me up from the stations and they showed me around the city, and it was overwhelming to see strangers opening up their homes and hearts for me.
To give you a background, Couchsurfing is a homestay and social networking company that is accessible via a website and a mobile app. Started in 2003, Couchsurfing offers free accommodation to travelers. Hosts are not allowed to charge for lodging. The idea was that the local could provide their couch to travelers, basically stressing on the core ethos of the kindness of strangers. If there's an option for payment and you can afford it, then go ahead and pay for it. If you're using Couchsurfing for the first time, you wouldn't have any references. Complete your profile and ask your friends to leave you a reference on Couchsurfing. Also, host people if you have the chance. It gives you a good idea on how Couchsurfing works, and it also gives you enough references when you start surfing. Also, you can attend meetups happening in your city.
Once you finish your profile on Couchsurfing, you can reach out to potential hosts when you're traveling.
Go through their profile, leave a personalized message based on their interests, likes, and dislikes. So many people are just looking for a free place to stay. They don't even bother going through their host profile. So, leaving a personalized message already gives you a better chance at getting accepted. Dates and city are the obvious choice here. Also, filter based on references. More the better. Also, gender, language, interest, or anything else per your requirements. Head to the filter section and check out the options. Few things to check here are the response rates, how frequently does the host respond, and last active dates, when was the host last active. It only makes sense that someone with a reasonable response rate and was active recently is likely to receive your message or see your message than someone who has a 20% response rate or has been active a year ago. I stumbled across this option, making your trip public, when I was looking for travel partners for a road trip around Portugal. I did not end up doing that, but I even got host requests offering me a place to stay in Portugal. That's when I made my entire trip public. It's unlikely to cause any safety issues as you will only share the city and the dates beforehand. If the hosts are free and available, they can host you. They will reach out to you in order to host you.
I did not expect it, but just in Hamburg I got like 10 requests. It was overwhelming to go through all the requests, and but then I did not end up going to Hamburg, so I did not really accept any of the requests. The only requests that I accepted were one in Tallinn and Frankfurt, and both of them turned out to be good. They were really good hosts.
However, most of the messages I received were sketchy at best and some had bad references. Be extremely careful while choosing the host. It can make or break your Couchsurfing experience.
I think the number one point here would be to come bearing gifts. While it's not a stated rule anywhere, I suggest you to buy gifts for your Couchsurfing host. I think that's the least you could do for a stranger giving you a free place to stay, right? So, and also it kind of sends a good message across the host saying that you care and you care about the host, and you're here for the cultural exchange rather than just looking for a free place to stay. And the gift doesn't have to be expensive or anything. You can buy simple things like maybe souvenirs from your country, or something like spices like garam masala powder or something like that. I think it's always good to have a local SIM and an internet connection handy, and rather than not depending on the host for an internet connection. Always keep someone informed so that they are apprised of your whereabouts and they know that and you're not alone. So if something happens, you know that you have an option. I don't know if I can stress this enough, but always be kind and considerate to your host, and make sure you respect the time and space that the host is providing you. Keep the space clean and tidy. If you show kindness, you receive kindness back. If you show respect, you receive respect back. It's that simple. And don't expect anything from the host. Always make sure you have a mode of transportation to reach to your host location. Also, make sure you carry your own luggage, or also don't expect the host to show you around the city. No matter how thorough you are, things can go wrong, and as per Murphy's Law, it most certainly will. So make sure you always have a backup. For me, the backup is usually a hostel. I know that if things doesn't go right in the Couchsurfing, or if I have any issues, I know that I can always rely on the hostel. There are weekly or monthly Couchsurfing meetups happening around the city wherever you are, and make sure you attend these meetups so that you meet new people. It's excellent for cultural exchange, and also you might find a travel buddy or a host even there. While your intention might be as simple as finding a place to stay, you will want to clear out with the host on what their intentions are. So they might be looking for a cultural exchange, which means you might have to spend some time with them, and maybe they want you to cook a meal for them, or something like that. So make sure you are on the same page, and suppose they might also be looking for selling their trip packages or babysitters or even a hookup. So these kind of things also happen. I came across this post on Couchsurfing and I was appalled by how detailed and manipulative this guy is. It goes on in length about how to manipulate and outwit surfer women to sleep with men. It's unethical at best, and I would refrain from anyone who falls into this category. As a female traveler, I would urge you to read it to understand what kind of men are out there and who to stay away from. I hope this video gave you a good insight on how to find hosts and what not to do while couchsurfing. If you like this video, then share it with your friends and family and give it a big thumbs up. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll be doing another video soon on traveling the world on a budget. So stay tuned.